Zen gardens, also known as karesansui gardens, originated in Japan. They are a form of rock garden that is meant to be a representation of the natural world and are often used as a form of meditation and contemplation. The origins of Zen gardens can be traced back to the 14th century, when they were first created by Zen monks as a way to help them focus during meditation. Zen gardens typically consist of a small, enclosed space filled with rocks, sand, and other natural elements. The rocks and sand are arranged in a way that represents mountains, valleys, and other natural features. Some Zen gardens also include small trees, bushes, and other plants, but these are generally kept to a minimum in order to emphasize the simplicity and tranquility of the garden. Zen gardens are typically designed to be viewed from a single vantage point, such as a porch or a meditation room. This allows the viewer to take in the entire garden at once and to focus on the overall composition and balance of the elements within it. The garden is often raked to create patterns in the sand, which is meant to represent the flow of water or wind. The rake marks should be random, it should not represent any specific thing. Zen gardens are often used as a form of meditation, as the act of creating and maintaining the garden is thought to be meditative in itself. The repetitive motions of raking the sand and arranging the rocks are believed to help clear the mind and promote a sense of inner peace. Additionally, viewing the garden is thought to help promote a sense of calm and tranquility, and to help the viewer focus on the present moment. The Zen gardens are also often used in Zen Buddhism temples as a way for the monks to meditate and contemplate about the nature. The Zen gardens are a way for the monk to meditate on the impermanence and the cycle of life. The Zen garden is a visual representation of the Zen belief that life is constantly changing and that we should strive to find inner peace and balance in the face of this change. Overall, Zen gardens are a unique and ancient form of garden design that originated in Japan and are closely associated with Zen Buddhism. They are intended to promote tranquility and inner peace and have been used for centuries as a form of meditation and contemplation. They continue to be enjoyed and appreciated today, both as a form of gardening and as a form of art. Zen gardens traditionally feature a variety of plants and elements that are chosen for their symbolic or aesthetic value. Some popular plants for a Zen garden include moss. Moss is a common feature in Zen gardens. Moss is often used to cover the ground between the rocks or boulders, adding a sense of age and naturalness to the garden. Moss is also often used to cover the base of stone lanterns, stone statues, or other garden structures. Moss is known for its ability to thrive in shaded, damp areas, which makes it a perfect fit for a Zen garden, where the garden is typically surrounded by walls or trees that provide shade. Moss adds a sense of depth and texture to the garden, and also helps to soften the hard lines of the rocks and gravel. Moss is also able to thrive with minimal maintenance, which makes it a suitable addition to a Zen garden, which is meant to be simple and low maintenance. Bamboo. Bamboo is a common feature in Zen gardens. Bamboo is often used as a boundary marker around the garden, creating a sense of enclosure and privacy. Bamboo is also used as a natural fence, which helps to keep the garden secluded and private. Bamboo is also often used as a focal point in the garden, adding a sense of movement and life. Bamboo is a symbol of longevity and resilience in Japanese culture, and its tall, slender stalks and rustling leaves can add a sense of natural beauty to the garden. Bamboo can also be used to create a sense of tranquility and serenity, as the soft sound of rustling bamboo leaves can be soothing and calming. It is also a good idea to select a non-invasive species of bamboo that can be contained within the garden if you want to keep it under control. Japanese maple. Japanese maple, also known as Acer palmatum, is a common feature in Zen gardens. The tree is known for its vibrant fall colors, delicate leaves, and intricate branching patterns, making it a popular choice for traditional Japanese gardens. Japanese maple is often used as a focal point in the garden, adding a sense of movement and life. The tree's delicate leaves and vibrant fall colors can add a sense of natural beauty to the garden. The tree is also known for its ability to thrive in shaded, damp areas, which makes it a perfect fit for a Zen garden, where the garden is typically surrounded by walls or trees that provide shade. Japanese maple can add a sense of depth and texture to the garden, and also helps to soften the hard lines of the rocks and gravel. It is also a symbol of resilience and longevity, which fits well with the philosophy of Zen gardens. It is important to note that Japanese maple requires a specific type of soil and climate, so it is important to choose the right variety of the tree that can thrive in your region. Bonsai. Bonsai is a traditional Japanese art form that involves growing miniature trees in small containers. Bonsai can be a feature in a Zen garden. The art of bonsai is closely related to the Zen philosophy of simplicity, patience, and attention to detail, and it can be used to complement the minimalist aesthetic of a Zen garden. Bonsai can be used as a focal point in the garden, adding a sense of movement and life. It can also be used to create a sense of tranquility and serenity, as the small size and intricate details of a bonsai can be soothing and calming. Bonsai can also be used to create a sense of depth and texture to the garden, and also helps to soften the hard lines of the rocks and gravel. Bonsai can be placed in the garden as a standalone or in a group, depending on the design of the garden. Bonsai can be an intricate and demanding art that requires skill and patience to care for, but when done correctly, it can be a beautiful addition to a Zen garden that can be appreciated for many years. Conifers. Conifers, also known as evergreens, are a common feature in Zen gardens. Conifers, such as pines, junipers, and cypress, are known for their ability to retain their foliage year-round, adding a sense of continuity and permanence to the garden. Conifers are often used as a focal point in the garden, adding a sense of movement and life. They can also be used to create a sense of depth and texture to the garden, and also helps to soften the hard lines of the rocks and gravel. Conifers can be used to create a sense of enclosure, providing a natural barrier around the garden and adding a sense of privacy. Conifers are also known for their ability to thrive in a variety of conditions, including rocky or sandy soil, which makes them a perfect fit for a Zen garden. Conifers are a symbol of longevity and resilience in Japanese culture, which fits well with the philosophy of Zen gardens. Conifers can be used as a standalone or in a group, depending on the design of the garden. It is important to note that some varieties of conifers can be large and invasive, so it is important to choose the right variety of the tree that can thrive in your region and fit with the size of your garden. Ferns. Ferns are a common feature in Zen gardens. Ferns are known for their delicate lacy leaves and ability to thrive in shaded, damp areas, which makes them a perfect fit for a Zen garden, where the garden is typically surrounded by walls or trees that provide shade. Ferns are often used as a complement to the rocks and gravel in the garden, adding a sense of natural beauty and movement to the garden. They can also be used to create a sense of depth and texture to the garden. Ferns can be used as a standalone or in a group, depending on the design of the garden. The delicate and intricate structure of ferns, as well as their ability to thrive in shaded areas, can add a sense of tranquility and serenity to the garden. They can also be used to create a sense of enclosure, providing a natural barrier around the garden and adding a sense of privacy. Ferns are also a symbol of resilience, longevity, and growth in Japanese culture, which fits well with the philosophy of Zen gardens. It is important to note that different types of ferns have different requirements in terms of light, water, and soil, so it is important to choose the right variety that can thrive in the conditions of your garden. Rocks. Rocks are a very important element in Zen gardens and are often used to represent the permanence and stability of nature. They are also considered to be symbols of the spiritual journey and the attainment of enlightenment. In Zen gardens, rocks can be arranged in a variety of ways, such as in a rock garden, karesansui, or as part of a dry landscape. The use of rocks in Zen gardens is often intended to create a sense of depth and movement, and to provide a different perspective on the garden. The placement and design of rocks in Zen gardens often follows the principles of balance and symmetry, and are designed to create an atmosphere of peacefulness. Rocks are used in many different ways in Zen gardens, from large rocks used as focal points to small stones, used to represent islands or other natural features. The rock gardens are designed with a variety of rocks, some large and some small. They are often arranged in such a way that it creates an illusion of hills, valleys, and mountain ranges. They can also be used to create a sense of movement, such as rocks arranged to represent a river or waterfall. Some Zen gardens also have a rock garden called Zen Garden of Raked Gravel or karesansui, which is a dry garden with carefully arranged rocks and gravel. It is also known as Zen Rock Garden. Gravel. Gravel in a Zen garden. The use of gravel serves several purposes. The gravel or sand is raked to create patterns, which can symbolize the flow of water or the movement of waves. This act of raking can also be seen as a form of meditation, as it requires focus and concentration. The gravel or sand also serves as a background for the rocks or boulders that are placed strategically in the garden, creating a sense of balance and harmony. The gravel also serves as a contrast to the rocks, making them stand out more. The overall use of gravel in a Zen garden is to create a peaceful and contemplative space for meditation and reflection. Water. Water is an important element in Zen gardens, often used to represent the flow of life and the interconnectedness of all things. It is also considered a symbol of purification and renewal. In Zen gardens, water can be represented in various ways such as ponds, streams, and waterfalls. The sound of flowing water can also be incorporated into the garden through the use of fountains or other water features. The use of water in Zen gardens is often intended to create a sense of tranquility and serenity, and to provide a focal point for meditation and reflection. The water in Zen gardens is often used to create the illusion of depth and movement, and to provide a different perspective on the garden. The placement and design of water features in Zen gardens often follows the principles of balance and symmetry, and are designed to create an atmosphere of peacefulness. Bridges. Bridges are a common feature in Zen gardens, and are often used to represent the passage from one state of being to another. They can symbolize the journey through life, or the transition from one stage of spiritual development to the next. In Zen gardens, bridges are often made of wood and may be arched or straight. They can be used to cross over a pond or stream, or to connect different areas of the garden. They can be simple and functional, or highly decorative and artistic. Bridges in Zen gardens are also used to create a sense of depth and movement within the garden, and to provide a different perspective on the garden. Some Zen gardens are designed with a bridge as a central feature, and often placed in a way that gives the visitors a chance to reflect and meditate. Fish. Fish, particularly koi fish, are commonly found in Zen gardens. They are often kept in ponds, and may be fed by visitors to the garden. In Zen philosophy, the presence of fish in a garden symbolizes the flow of life and the interconnectedness of all living things. The koi fish are also considered to be symbols of good luck and prosperity. They are often used in Japanese Zen gardens, but also in other gardens around the world. Some Zen gardens are designed with a koi pond as a central feature. They are usually fed and taken care of by gardens' caretakers. Screening. Screening in a Zen garden refers to the use of walls, fences, or other barriers to create a sense of privacy and seclusion within the garden. This can be used to create a sense of enclosure, which can be beneficial for meditation and reflection. It can also be used to create different areas within the garden or to separate it from the surrounding environment. In traditional Zen gardens, bamboo fences, wooden screens, and stone walls are often used for screening. These materials can be used to create a sense of harmony with the natural environment, and can also be used to provide a sense of enclosure and privacy. Bamboo fences, for example, can be used to create a sense of seclusion within the garden, while also providing a visual barrier to the outside world. Wooden screens can be used to create a sense of depth and movement within the garden, and can also be used to provide a sense of enclosure and privacy. Screening can also be used to separate different areas within the garden. For example, a bamboo fence can be used to separate a pond or stream from the rest of the garden, while a wooden screen can be used to create a sense of privacy around a meditation area. Screening can also be used to provide a sense of enclosure and privacy, while also creating a sense of harmony with the natural environment. The use of natural materials such as bamboo or wood can be used to create a sense of connection with nature and create a sense of seclusion within the garden. Other elements used include statuary. Statuary is not a traditional element in Zen gardens. Zen gardens are typically composed of natural elements such as gravel, sand, rocks, and boulders, and are designed to be simple and minimalistic. The purpose of a Zen garden is to provide a space for meditation and reflection, and the act of creating and maintaining the garden can also be seen as a form of meditation. The focus is on the natural elements and the relationship between them, rather than on any added decorations or embellishments. Some Zen gardens may have a single sculpture, like a small lantern or a stone Buddha statue, but it is not a common element. Pathway. A pathway is not a typical feature in traditional Zen gardens. Zen gardens are typically designed to be viewed from a single perspective, such as a porch or a veranda, and are meant to be contemplated and meditated upon from that one viewpoint. The garden is usually enclosed and is not meant to be walked through. However, some modern Zen gardens incorporate pathways that allow visitors to walk through and experience the garden up close. The pathway is usually made of gravel or stepping stones, and it winds through the garden, allowing visitors to take in different views and appreciate the different elements of the garden. The pathway should be smooth and not distracting, allowing the visitors to focus on the natural elements of the garden and to meditate on the beauty and simplicity of the garden. Seating. Seating is not a common feature in traditional Zen gardens, also known as Japanese rock gardens or karesansui. These gardens are typically designed to be viewed from a single perspective, such as a porch or a veranda, and are meant to be contemplated and meditated upon from that one viewpoint. They are not meant to be walked through, and seating is not provided in the garden. However, some modern Zen gardens incorporate seating areas, such as benches or stone seating, for visitors to sit and contemplate the garden. The seating should blend in with the natural elements of the garden and be situated in a peaceful and secluded area to allow visitors to relax and meditate without distractions. The seating should be comfortable and unassuming, allowing visitors to focus on the beauty and simplicity of the garden. Lighting. Lighting is not a traditional feature in Zen gardens. These gardens are typically designed to be viewed during the day and are meant to be contemplated and meditated upon in natural light. The gardens are usually enclosed and not meant to be walked through, so lighting is not necessary. However, some modern Zen gardens incorporate lighting in order to be able to appreciate the garden at night or in low light conditions. The lighting should be subtle and not overpowering, and should enhance the natural elements of the garden. Ideally, lighting should be positioned in such a way that it highlights certain features of the garden, such as rocks or gravel patterns, without overpowering the natural beauty of the garden. The lighting should be designed to create a peaceful and contemplative atmosphere, and not to distract from the purpose of the garden, which is to provide a space for meditation and reflection. These are just a few examples of the many plants and elements that can be used in a Zen garden. Ultimately, the choice of plants will depend on personal preference and the overall design of the garden. We will cover each element and plant variety individually in future episodes, so stay tuned.